Fastest driver in qualifying for round 9 of the Euro Formula Parma Audi series is Tim Mullen, but he's having to start from the pit lane, excluded from qualifying due to an infringement exiting the pit lane during the fast test session. So it's Robbie Kerr and Frenchman Bruce Giuani who start first and second ahead of Justin Keen, and this man, Jackie van der Ende, outside of the second row of the grid. He's launching himself down the inside into Eau Rouge, and Bruce Giuani leads from the outside of the front row. Dreadful start by Robbie Kerr. Tim Mullen gets away from the back of the field, but it's the Frenchman from the outside of the front row that leads them up the hill with the Dutch driver behind him. There is a Belgian in the field. The local man Benoit Allard started in 14th place, and here comes the pole man trying to come down the inside. Robbie Kerr goes from third to first as they go into Les Combes at the top of the hill. Oh, and off goes a couple of drivers. Yes, but Carlson, one of those, comes back on in his Team Brask machine. There is Van der Ende in third place. The leader once more is the pole man as we ride with Jackie van der Ende. This series of rights and lefts down the hill, very demanding, very fast, and Paul Edwards, the driver ahead of us there, locking a wheel as he goes into the first right-hander. Pouring on the pace, there's been quite some shuffling of the order because Paul Edwards, ahead of Van der Ende at the moment, started in 6th place, a whole row behind him. Out front though is our race leader from the outside of the front row of the grid. It's Frenchman Bruce Giuani. Bit of a gap back to Paul Edwards. The yellow roll hoop is Jackie van der Ende, under threat now from Derek Hayes. And Hayes goes for the inside line and gets the place as Van der Ende slides onto the dirt. Hayes started in 7th place, so he's picked up some places at the top of the hill reshuffle as well. And Van der Ende once more under threat from number 1, last year's champion Richard Tarling, trying to get by as well. Well, let's have a look again at the top of the hill at the first time of asking. Jackie van der Ende on the outside, Paul Edwards sliding there. They both go over the grass as they try and pass race leader Bruce Giuani. That was him flying through there. Oh, goodness me. And Edwards came back on just across his nose. Edwards second there. There's Derek Hayes. There, the yellow car with the blue rear end. That's Van der Ende still in 4th place ahead of Richard Tarling. Plenty of battles all the way down the field. And here's another one. Justin Keen holding off Frenchman Bruno Besson as Tim Mullen tries to work his way up the order. Great view there through the daunting Eau Rouge. Looks like it's safe once you start to climb the hill, but plenty of room to go wrong on the outside. Up the hill they stream. The red car there is the Italian Marco Ciocci. Picks up a place from Bruno Besson under braking. Will he hold it together? Looks like it. Again, over the top of the hill and down into the new section of the Spa circuit. And there, going wheel to wheel, the 99 car is Christian Hohenadel, and the black car was Miku Santavirta, the Finn. Trail of tyre smoke down at the bottom of the hill, suddenly going off. It's Damien Faulkner, the Irish driver. Started in 11th place and had made up a couple of spots, but he'll lose more than that there. Well, Tim Mullen now working his way through. We just saw him going past Damien Faulkner, and who's this going off? Well, that's Robbie Kerr, the pole position man, and looks as though he's got broken suspension on his car. Bruce Giuani leads then. Gap back to Edwards, then Hayes. Lock up from Van der Ende, the yellow and blue machine. He's in 4th, ahead of Tarling and Besson. There's your top 6. Red car is Marco Ciocci in 7th position. Well, Bruce Giuani is really starting to drive away from the field here. He's got the brake he needs, and everybody else is battling somebody. All the way down the order it goes. And there is confirmation. Broken right rear suspension for Robbie Kerr. The wheel right off the ground. Well, he certainly had a dreadful getaway from pole position, and his race has just got worse. Up the hill though, change of place as Derek Hayes goes by Paul Edwards. Obviously used his boost button well at the bottom of the hill, and Edwards desperate to fight back there, almost had the place back at the top of the hill. Once more starting to pile on the power downhill into the right-hander. 3rd gear, and Hayes in trouble, slides a little wide. Edwards very close indeed to the apex of the corner, driving a really tight line. Looks like he's got his car very well set up indeed for here. Just behind them, Jackie van der Ende, sun glinting off the camera lens. And of course, although it's slightly overcast here, it could still go either into brilliant sunshine or into appalling rain at Spa. That's one of the facets of the track. It's unpredictable weather nature. Bruce Giuani won't worry too much about that. He's well away now. Still in second place is Hayes, Edwards and Van der Ende now starting to tussle, and Derek Hayes using that to his advantage to get away. Van der Ende at the end of the lap, battling with Paul Edwards for third place. And Richard Tarling coming down the hill behind him, really under pressure as well. Down into Eau Rouge again with Jackie Van der Ende over the curbs on the inside, flying up the hill. Oh, he's all over the gravel, but just holds it together. He's really got his button pushed hard there, and using all that extra power, it made him very wild indeed through Eau Rouge, but he had the speed coming up the hill. Now he chops to the inside to defend, then he assumes the racing line, and Paul Edwards done up like a kipper there. Jackie Van der Ende came through Eau Rouge with such a head of steam that Edwards was never going to be able to match that momentum, even if he'd hit his overtake extra boost button there. Well, there in the middle of that little group, you saw the number 2 machine of Damien Faulkner once more, back on the track and still racing for position. And that'll be just at the bottom of the top 10 there. The leaders starting to ease themselves away. Van der Ende now back up into third place. And as they come down the hill the next time, away he goes from Paul Edwards. Richard Tarling, the man under pressure now though. Let's see what he can do. Justin Keane right behind him. And Keane very ragged as well through Eau Rouge. Looks as though he's got plenty of speed up. Let's see as they come into shot. Richard Tarling with Justin Keane right behind him. Keane with that yellow wing tucked right up underneath Richard Tarling's gearbox. Behind them is the second of the team brass cars in this race. That's the number 22 machine of Jesper Karlsson, and Karlsson spins again at the top of the hill. Just far too fast into the right-left chicane, and the Dane now seeing all his hard work undone. Tried to get past Bruno Besson, he'd done it, but only at the sacrifice of his ability to slow down, and so he loses a hatful of positions. Now what about Bruce Giuani, the race leader? He's got Derek Hayes right with him. Hayes started in 7th on the grid, Giuani in 2nd, they're now running 2nd and 1st respectively. There is Van der Ende in 3rd place, Tarling in 4th, 5th place Justin Keane, 6th place now Paul Edwards. So Edwards is going back down the order as the others get by him, working their way through one by one. A snappy turn in there to Eau Rouge from the number 1 car of Richard Tarling, but look at this, a move on to take the lead from Bruce Giuani, and Derek Hayes has to go around the outside, gets in too fast, goes through the Michael Schumacher runoff area, gets back on track, but still Bruce Giuani doing the wise thing there, holding the racing line, forcing Hayes to go around the outside and then braking when he knew he had to get in. And off goes Justin Keane. What an unusual place to go off. Normally it's the chicane at the top of the hill, but Keane there trying desperately to get around the outside of Richard Tarling, it would seem, and just running out of road. Well, having fought off the challenge of Derek Hayes, it's checkered flag for Bruce Giuani by 2.5 seconds, and all the way to the end, Bruno Besson battling for 5th place with Paul Edwards. Edwards forcing him right over to the pit wall and just keeping it to the line. Not exactly the most gentlemanly of moves, but he gets that 6th position. Bruce Giuani then wins. Derek Hayes tight-lipped in 2nd place. Jackie Van der Ende in 3rd, ahead of Tarling, Edwards and Besson.